You know what drives me absolutely crazy? Watching people turn something simple like tying your shoes into a 2-hour lecture full of jargon. Bro, it's shoes. All I'm trying to do is tie my shoes before life leaves me behind. Hi, I'm Ziga, and just like you, I hate complicated stuff. So in this video, we're going to talk about personal finance without the boring jargon. Because let's be honest, you want the good life. A cozy apartment you actually enjoy coming home to. Vacations where your biggest problem is pool or beach. Fancy dining without mentally calculating your account balance like a stressed out mathematician. But that dream seems almost impossible because your money disappears faster than it comes in, and payday behaves like that one relative who never arrives on time. Here's what most people don't realize. This usually isn't an income problem or a math problem. It's an awareness problem. Because personal finance is ridiculously simple. It is knowing where your money goes and making decisions so it serves you. That's it. Just paying attention. Which is actually funny when you think about it, because humans are fantastic at paying attention to almost everything. We notice that mysterious friend whose life upgraded overnight. We notice the coworker who got a weird haircut, and now we don't know whether to compliment them or alert the authorities. But when it comes to our own money, we become as blind as a bat.
I know. Bats aren't really blind. Don't fact check me in the comments. Just roll with the vibe.
Now picture this. Your money is like water flowing through a system of pipes. Every month, water pours in from the tank. But it doesn't just sit there. It flows. If any of the pipes are badly arranged or worse, broken, the water leaks away.
Personal finance is simply making sure there are no leaking pipes and that the water actually reaches the right places.
So how do you stop the leaks? You track. A coworker of mine swears he's always stuck in traffic, so he leaves all the morning work for me. But I notice he always smells like cinnamon rolls, so I put a tiny tracker on his car.
I swear, I'm not creepy. I'm just checking for leaks, or in this case, lies.
Turns out he stops by the coffee shop every morning, lingering over cinnamon rolls and flirting with the barista, losing almost an hour before ever reaching the office.
Preposterous.
Anyway, back to tracking our money. Most people have no idea where their money actually goes. Not approximately, I mean precisely. But to be fair, nobody really teaches us about money beyond a few brief lessons in school. Mrs. Rachel taught me algebra, but never warned me about subscriptions. Please, don't be like Mrs. Rachel. Teach the younger ones.
As for me, I'm clearly still a child.
It's not just me saying this. Studies show most adults can't accurately estimate their monthly spending. Not because they're irresponsible, but because humans are terrible at tracking invisible, repeated behavior, which, when you think about it, actually makes sense. I mean, you can't really blame Mrs. Rachel. You're an adult now. But just like I sneaked a tracker to catch my coworker in the act, we can track our money in 4 simple steps.
Detective Kyle storms in, irritated. Who could have done this?
Forensics is already on the ground, taking samples and pictures. Every angle, every tiny detail.
A smudge on the table, the coffee maker left on, anything that looks irrelevant, still evidence. Because at a crime scene, professionals don't rely on memory. They don't say, I'm sure it was nothing, no need to take pictures. Because every nothing could be something. So first they record everything, then draw conclusions later. Which is exactly what most people never do with money. We guess. We swear we hardly spend anything. Meanwhile, the evidence tells a very different story. Which brings us to the first step, capture. This means writing down everything your money does, not what you think it does.
Everything, down to the tiny amounts you're convinced don't matter. That random snack, that harmless tip to the delivery guy. Everything. This isn't about judging yourself or cutting everything out. It's simply about seeing the full picture clearly. After the photos and samples are taken, the real work begins. Evidence gets grouped, laid out on tables. Receipts here, fingerprints there. Because a pile of evidence tells you nothing, but organized evidence starts talking.
Sorting is exactly what you do after writing down your expenses. Food goes with food, transport with transport, fun money with, well, fun money.
No complex system or overthinking. Once your spending is organized, patterns begin to emerge, and suddenly you can start making sense of what's really happening.
Inspector Kyle leans in. Forensics have done their job. Photos taken, evidence tagged. Now comes the harder question. What connects the pieces? What belongs and what doesn't?
A single fingerprint. Interesting. The same fingerprint showing up again. That's a pattern. And this is where your money stops being numbers and starts revealing behavior. Inspect. You're no longer writing things down or sorting them into neat categories. Now you observe. Which category keeps expanding? Which expense was unplanned for? What are the tiny daily comforts that aren't so tiny over time?
Inspector Kyle straightens up. Dots connected, patterns clear. The case finally makes sense.
Now comes the part that actually changes everything. Because awareness alone solves nothing.
Adjust.
Reduce one habit that quietly drains your system. Redirect money toward what actually matters. And that's it. Case closed.